Handball training has to be adapted if we want to minimize the risk of COVID infections. We are talking about constrained contact handball exercises or games and special measures that minimize cross-contamination. In this video, we'll share some tips to protect young players from COVID-19 while attempting to work on developing game skills and to keep them motivated, sharp and ready for match action.
Remind players or groups to keep space between them. Encourage players to bring their own equipment, example, a towel for floor workout. Organize small groups and set up running spaces or corridors to maintain physical separation between groups. Adapt the tasks to avoid face-to-face positions. Actively encourage players to be aware of others and to keep some distance from them. Emphasize keeping 2 arm length distance when making short passes. If feasible, organize play spaces to maintain physical separation between groups. Design tasks that impose physical distance and are adapted to their performance level. Ensure that players remain in the same group as long as possible. Set a new task, keeping the same groups and playing spaces. Change the boundaries of the game to limit physical proximity and to accommodate their level of performance. Use offensive advantage. Constrain defenders' actions when appropriate. Constrain players' spaces of action to limit physical proximity and contact. Example: players are only allowed to pass the ball from the outside of the square. Defenders are only allowed to act inside the square. Increase safety. Advise wearing a mask. Task example: 3-on-2 game play with 4 non-standing gates. Example: set up goal receiving gates where only attackers can get into. Constrain defenders' spaces of action to limit physical proximity and contact. Use advantage. Increase playing space and/or constrain defenders' actions. Use defensive actions constraints to minimize face-to-face contact and tackling actions. Through action constraints before the duel, a situation of disadvantage is created for the defender. Use action barriers to limit close contact, face-to-face situations. Nets or cones limit shooters' and defenders' space of action. Constrain defenders' action to avoid tackling or holding and to limit close proximity. Defenders should act differently, forcing passers and/or shooters to anticipate and adjust actions. Designing game-like tasks to lower the risk of COVID-19 exposure. Use game tactical structures based on attacking advantage. numerical and or spatial. Delimit the playing zones and constrain the defender's actions as appropriate. Two-on-one at right-left sides, interspersed by wide back trajectory to shoot from the center. Solving two-on-one, followed by shot from the back. Task example: two-on-one at right or left sides, starting with a pass from the opposite back player. Defender's actions might be constrained by carrying a ball with both hands. Task example: linking 2-on-2 with 2-on-1 in bounded playing zones with support from the central back player. Only when playing 2-on-1 at left or right side can they attempt to score. Central back defender is allowed to run from side to side to contradict outnumbered play. Center back is not allowed to shoot.
Only open shots are allowed in 2-on-1 left or right sides.
Offensive focus, exploiting numerical advantage, 2-on-2 moving to 2-on-1. Offensive focus, boost fast decision making and fast, accurate passing. Challenge defenders to avoid using physical contact, acting cleverly and fast to provoke offensive mistakes.
Introduce movement constraints when appropriate.